This is the Possible Care for Dogs. The podcast begins.
Welcome to a new episode of the Pawsible Care for Dogs podcast. In today's episode, we are exploring further Nova Scotia duck toller health and care. Essential best practices for a happy and healthy life. Yeah, we're doing a deep dive today into the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever. You know, those really smart, super energetic red dogs.
The ones with that boundless enthusiasm and incredible retrieving drive. Beautiful dogs.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to unpack the essential best practices to keep them healthy and happy throughout their lives, using the info we've pulled together.
And it's important because tollers, well, they're fantastic, but like any breed developed for a specific job, they do have some pretty specific needs. Meeting those needs makes a huge difference.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Common health issues seem like a good place to start. The information we looked at points to a few key things toller owners really need a heads up on. First one, Addison's disease, hypodrenocorticism.
Yes, Addison's. And tollers, well, the data suggests they have a higher than average risk for this one.
Higher risk. How so?
Well, interestingly, there was a study back in 2020, I think it was BMC Veterinary Research, that actually found a strong genetic predisposition in the breed.
Wow, so it's not just anecdotal, there's science behind it.
Exactly. It means, for you as an owner, it's really about being aware of that potential and being proactive.
And what does proactive look like? What are the signs we should be watching for? The notes mentioned fatigue, vomiting, even collapse. That sounds quite scary.
It can be, yeah. Addison's is basically when the adrenal glands don't produce enough of certain essential hormones like cortisol, which helps manage stress.
Okay.
So when those levels drop too low, you can see these serious symptoms. But the tricky part is these signs can sometimes be vague or they might come and go.
Okay.
So knowing about this toller predisposition means you just have to be a bit more vigilant about any recurring weirdness, lethargy or tummy upset.
Gotcha. Okay, moving on. Hip dysplasia is also mentioned. That's something we hear about with lots of medium and larger dogs, isn't it?
It is, quite common. It's essentially a malformation of the hip joint. The ball and socket don't fit quite right. And over time, that can definitely lead to arthritis and pain.
Right.
So the guidance rightly emphasizes the importance of regular screening. Organizations like the OFA, the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals, they have systems for evaluating hip health.
So checking the parent scores if you're getting a puppy.
Absolutely. Looking at the hip scores in the puppy's lineage is a really smart move.
Okay. Then there are eye issues. PRA, progressive retinal atrophy, and cataracts are mentioned.
And those can significantly impact a dog's quality of life, obviously. PRA is, it's a degenerative condition of the retina, the light-sensing part of the eye, and it eventually leads to blindness.
Oh, dear.
And cataracts, that's a clouding of the lens, which also impairs vision. So the recommendation is pretty clear. Annual eye exams with a veterinary ophthalmologist are a really good idea for tollers.
And DNA testing.
Yeah, where possible, DNA tests can identify carriers for PRA. Early detection of any eye issue helps you adapt and support your dog as their vision changes, if it does.
Right. Makes sense. And one more in this health section, autoimmune disorders. Something called toller immune-mediated rheumatic disease, or IMRD.
Yes, IMRD. Autoimmune conditions are basically when the body's immune system kind of gets confused and starts attacking healthy tissues.
Okay.
With IMRD, it can affect different parts of the body, but common signs to look out for might be things like joint stiffness, maybe a fever, general lethargy. These can be complex, often needing specialist vet care.
Okay, that's a good, if slightly worrying overview of potential health issues. Let's shift to something we have more control over day to day. Nutrition. The info suggests about 2-3 cups of high-quality food daily, split into 2 meals. Why the split?
Well, splitting meals generally helps with digestion. It can also keep energy levels a bit more stable throughout the day, which is definitely good for an energetic breed like the toller.
Right, not just one big energy spike.
Exactly. And while they aren't maybe as prone to bloat as some really deep-chested breeds, it's still considered a good general practice.
The notes also talk up omega-3s and antioxidants. Why are they particularly highlighted for tollers?
Well, think about how active they are. All that running and retrieving puts wear and tear on the body. Omega-3 fatty acids are brilliant for their anti-inflammatory properties, which can support joints, skin, coat, overall health, really.
Okay.
And antioxidants help fight off the cellular damage, the oxidative stress that happens naturally with metabolism and especially with exercise. Good for the immune system, too.
That makes total sense. Hypoallergenic diets are also mentioned, potentially helpful for breeds prone to autoimmune issues. When might that be something to consider?
Yeah, that's a maybe. If your toddler shows signs of food sensitivities, could be itchy skin or digestive upset, or if they actually have a diagnosed autoimmune condition, then maybe a special diet could help.
Under vet guidance, I assume?
Oh, absolutely. Always talk to your vet first. They might suggest a limited ingredient diet or maybe one formulated to be anti-inflammatory. It's not something to just jump into without professional advice.
Right. And the last, nutrition point weight management. Crucial for joints, obviously,
Yeah.
but maybe also linked to Addison's complications. There's a reference to the Purina lifespan study.
Yes, so the lifespan study, that was a landmark study.
Yeah.
It clearly showed that dogs maintained at a lean, healthy body weight lived significantly longer lives
Longer and healthier.
and had delayed onset of chronic diseases like arthritis. Now, the direct link to reducing Addison's complications isn't maybe fully proven, but keeping a dog lean reduces overall stress on all body systems. Less inflammation, less strain. It can only be beneficial.
Got it. Okay, so fuel is sorted. Let's talk about burning that fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise. Toddlers are definitely not lap dogs. The info says 60 to 90 minutes of vigorous exercise daily. Wow.
It's a serious commitment, isn't it? But yeah, it's absolutely vital. They were bred for demanding work, retrieving ducks in cold water for hours. That energy has to go somewhere.
So it's physical and mental health we're talking about.
Precisely. It's not just about tiring them out physically. It's about preventing boredom, anxiety, and potentially destructive behaviors that can crop up when their needs aren't met.
And the examples given are good ones. Fetch, obviously swimming. They usually love water trail runs, agility.
Things that let them really move, yeah. But the notes also highlight scent work and retrieval exercises specifically,
Why the emphasis on those?
because that taps directly into their innate abilities and instincts. Giving a toddler a job to do, something that engages their brain and their natural drive to retrieve or follow scents, is incredibly satisfying for them.
So mental stimulation is just as important as running around.
At least as important, I'd argue. A tired toddler is good, but a tired and mentally fulfilled toddler is even better.
The info also mentions interactive training being great for them, citing their intelligence.
Yeah.
What does that look like in practice?
Well, because they're so smart and often eager to please, they tend to love learning. So interactive training could be anything from teaching complex tricks, advanced obedience, puzzle toys that make them think, or even those retrieving games we just mentioned. It really strengthens your bond, too.
Okay, fuel, exercise, maintenance time, grooming, that beautiful red coat. The notes say it's a waterproof double coat, fairly low maintenance. That sounds promising.
It is relatively manageable compared to some breeds, yes. That double coat is functional, designed for protection. But low maintenance doesn't mean no maintenance.
Right. What's needed?
Regular brushing, definitely, maybe 2 or 3 times a week usually, possibly more during heavy shedding seasons, which they do have. This helps get the loose undercoat out and prevents mats.
Okay. And bathing.
Not too often usually, maybe every month or two, or, when they decide to roll in something unpleasant or take a mud bath.
Happens. What about ears?
Yeah.
Especially with swimmers.
Oh, super important. Weekly ear checks and cleaning are essential. Moisture trapped in the ear canal after swimming is a perfect recipe for infections, yeast, or bacteria.
So drying them thoroughly after a swim is key, too.
Absolutely critical. Gentle cleaning and thorough drying.
And the basics. Teeth and nails.
Mm.
Brushing teeth a few times a week. Nail trims monthly.
Standard stuff, yeah, but don't neglect it. Dental health impacts overall health, and long nails are uncomfortable and can cause posture problems or get snagged.
Okay. Now, preventative vet care. The info really stresses annual checkups, but suggests including specific things for toddlers. Hormone panels, orthopedic checks, eye screening. Why the extra focus?
It links back directly to those predispositions we talked about earlier, the risks for Addison's, hip dysplasia, and eye conditions like PRA.
Okay. So it's about early detection.
Exactly. Catching things early makes management much more effective. Hormone panels might pick up early signs of adrenal issues, orthopedic exams track joint health over time, and specialized eye exams are crucial for catching those progressive conditions.
Got it. And regular vaccines and parasite prevention are mentioned too, especially for active outdoor dogs. Seems like a no-brainer.
It should be, yes. Dogs who are out hiking, swimming, running through fields are just exposed to more potential risks, from ticks and fleas to infectious diseases. Staying current is vital.
And there's a strong warning about Addison's monitoring.
Mm.
Act fast on any signs like weird fatigue, tummy upset, fainting, because it can escalate quickly.
That's a really critical takeaway for toddler owners. Because the symptoms can be vague, you need a high index of suspicion. Don't wait and see if your toddler seems off in a way that could get it checked out promptly. Early treatment makes a world of difference.
This is a good moment for you to like and subscribe to the channel.
Absolutely. Okay, so beyond the physical stuff, the information touches on some unique taller traits. Their need for meaningful engagement and deep bonds with their owner.
Yeah, it sounds like they're not dogs that cope well just being left to their own devices for hours on end. Separation anxiety could be a real thing.
It definitely can be. Their intelligence combined with that working dog desire to be with their person means they really thrive on interaction. Long periods alone can be genuinely stressful for them.
And that leads into the famous or infamous taller scream.
Ah, yes, the
The
score.
notes say it could be excitement, but also maybe unmet needs. And it highlights keeping them busy, mentally and physically.
That's a great way to put it. It's this really high-pitched, unique vocalization. Sometimes it's pure joy or anticipation, like when you grab the leash. But other times, yeah, it might be a sign they're frustrated, bored, or over-aroused because they need an outlet.
So it's a communication tool, sort of.
Kind of, yeah. Paying attention to when they scream gives you clues about what they might need in that moment. Usually it comes back to needing more engagement, mental or physical.
Okay, so pulling this all together. Toddlers are amazing, rewarding companions, no doubt. But they definitely come with a specific user manual, you could say.
That's a good analogy. They have specific health considerations, high needs for exercise and mental work, and they need that strong connection with their people.
But the message is positive. If you're aware of these things and you provide that proper care, the right health checks, nutrition, enrichment, they will absolutely thrive.
Without a doubt, they give back so much when their needs are met.
We'd love to hear from you. Please share your comments with your thoughts, questions, suggestions, and experiences about caring for your Nova Scotia duck-tolling retrievers.
Yeah, definitely. Your experiences, the little tips and tricks you've learned along the way can be so valuable for other owners or people thinking about getting a toller.
Have a beautiful day, take care of your lovely doggies, and we see you on the next one.
And maybe think about this. Beyond the basics we've discussed, how does that deep-seated working heritage, that drive, subtly influence their health or behavior in ways we haven't even fully explored yet? What more could we learn about optimizing their well-being by really considering that core aspect of what makes a toller a toller?